We back with another one, and today we talking about the 1,000-year reign of Christ has already happened, and the book of Matthew chapter 10 proves it. Verse 1, Jesus called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out impure spirits and to heal every disease and sickness. Is this happening? Let's just start establishing some ground rules, because this is highly important. Is this happening, or is this for the future? Is Jesus giving the 12 disciples the ability to heal every disease and sickness right there in that moment when he's still on earth? The answer to that is yes. In case you're struggling, verse 2, these are the names of the 12 apostles. And he goes through the 12 apostles, right? Verse 5, these 12 Jesus sent out with the following instructions. Do not go among the Gentiles or any town of the Samaritans. Go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So he just told the 12 disciples in that moment, go out to the lost sheep of Israel and don't go to the Gentiles or the Samaritans. He's telling that to them in that moment. Do you agree? And the answer is yes, you do, because that's what's happening. All right. So they're healing the sick and stuff like that, right? And we're going to skip down a little bit to verse 9. We just establishing some things, right? Do not get any gold or silver or copper to take with you in your belts. No bag for the journey, or extra shirt or sandals or a staff, for the worker is worth his keep. This isn't a future prophecy. He's telling the 12 disciples what to do in that moment, right? This isn't for anybody else. Listen to me. When we read the Bible, you got to understand this chapter 10 is strictly for the disciples. It's strict. The 12 apostles is strictly for them. But we get to read it. We get to see what's happening in this story, and we can apply it to how we can live a better life. But this is for the disciples in that moment. We're moving on to verse 14. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet. Truly I tell you, it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for that town. This isn't a future prophecy. It is, but this is happening now. He's telling them this now in that moment, right? I am, right? The name he gave himself, right? The name God gave himself in Exodus. I am sending you out like sheep among wolves, right? Jesus is saying, I'm sending you out, right? The apostles, like sheep, like wolves. Now, we have established that he's telling them this in this moment. Watch what happens, right? In verse 22, you will be hated by everyone because of me. He is still talking to the 12 apostles. But the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Listen to how the 1,000-year reign of Christ has already taken place because of verse 23. When you are persecuted in one place, flee to another. Truly, I tell you, you will not finish going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes. Is Jesus a liar? Or did he tell the 12 disciples that they're going to be persecuted in one place? And he gave them instructions on what to do. And that was to flee to another town. And he then made them a promise You will not go through all the towns of Israel before I come back. The Son of Man comes, him, before he comes back to usher in the 1,000-year reign of Christ. So either Jesus is a liar, and he told the 12 disciples all these other things, and can't forget, he told them a pile of other stuff leading up to verse 23. And we all agreed because you didn't have a choice. I'm not going to let you stupid your way out of this. He was telling them, heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy. That was in that time. He gave them that power and that moment to go out and heal the sick. And he's also telling them in verse 23, one of the most important things you're going to ever hear in your life. You got to let it sink in how big verse 23 is. Let it settle in. Breathe in. 1,000-year reign has happened. Breathe out. We're in the time where Satan is released. When you are persecuted in one place, 12 disciples. Flee to another, 12 apostles. Truly I tell you, 12 apostles, you will not finish going through the towns of Israel before the Son of Man, Jesus, comes back and brings in the 1,000-year reign and give you mansions. Verse 23. This verse 10, chapter 10, Matthew 10, right? It's all about the 12 apostles, the 12 disciples. Did Jesus lie to his disciples? Did they never go out and teach and then get persecuted and have to flee? Or did they? Did that happen? Because both things can't be true. Either Jesus lied to the disciples, blasphemy, don't commit blasphemy, don't do it. Jesus isn't a liar. That means that he told the 12 disciples in that time, hey, when this happens, flee to these towns. Then he made them a promise. And Jesus keep his promises. That means the 1,000-year reign has already happened. I'm tired of talking to y'all about.